Hey, what's up YouTube family? It is your boy, the Mass Music Reactor, back again. Now, I wanted to do this video on Slipknot's newest drummer, Eloy Casagrande, because there's a lot of people that are hating on Slipknot right now and just talking a lot of shit because they got rid of Jay Weinberg from their drummer. Jay was with them for, I believe, 2 albums, maybe 3, and a lot of touring. And a lot of people are mad how Slipknot kind of just let him go and ended up pretty much immediately getting this guy, Eloy Casagrande, to be the new drummer for Slipknot. Now, if you don't know who Eloy is, he was the drummer for the band Sepultura, so he already has some really great heavy metal beginnings, you know, where he's just awesome on the drums. But I'm going to watch this video with you guys, and this guy will explain everything to you, why Eloy Casagrande is the perfect drummer for the band Slipknot. So let's check this out, and you'll learn so much about Eloy in this video.
This is Eloy Casagrande, one of the best metal drummers of all time. And he's so good that one of the biggest metal bands of all time just hired him. What makes him so good? And what secrets does he have that put him above so many other pro metal drummers? After studying hundreds of hours of footage, I found 7 of Eloy's top drumming secrets that every drummer needs to know to get pro level skills. Starting with Eloy's secret technique that allow him to play insane things like this. There's one skill that Eloy's developed more than 99% of other drummers, and I think it's one of the main reasons he got the Slipknot gig. And this skill of Eloy's has actually sparked quite a bit of controversy.
It makes me very angry.
Eloy has developed this skill so well that I think he's only one of 3 other drummers in the entire world that could fill the shoes of Joey and Jay. And that's because Eloy has magic feet. So how does he do it? Well, he utilizes something called the swivel technique. This is where you swivel your heel left to right on the pedal, which gives you more power and speed on the kick, but with less movement of your actual leg. Now, playing double kick is already difficult, but Eloy is able to play it longer, faster, and with more power than almost any other drummer without any triggers. Now, I'm gonna rank each one of these secrets by difficulty so that you know exactly what to expect when trying it out for yourself. So having magic feet, I would say, is frustratingly difficult. One thing that I know is impossible for most drummers is doing stuff on the kit like this, and like this. You might watch those clips and think,
I would never be able to do that.
But Eloy deploys a genius strategy that allows him to play chops in a free flow fashion around the kit without even thinking about it. For most drummers, when they try to come up with cool chops and flow around the kit, it doesn't go so well. Eloy will actually approach chops differently than most drummers. He will add in a downbeat in the middle of all his chops, which does something really special. It not only gives him a home base to continually come back to, but it makes it almost feel like his chops are one crazy drum beat. Now, this strategy is amazing if you're trying to develop your chops because it gives you a limitation to come back to. Because oftentimes we get overwhelmed by the endless possibilities. People think that they need more options for more creativity, but in fact, it's often the opposite. I think we should all view limitations as a tool that boost our creativity, not hinder it. And that's what Eloy did when he had to play an entire tour with just his left leg, but we'll get to that in a bit. And that's why having a home base is frustratingly difficult, but not nearly as difficult as playing for one of the biggest metal bands of all time. Let's talk about what got Eloy's foot in the door with Slipknot. Have you noticed that a ton of YouTube drummers end up landing huge gigs, like Eloy with Slipknot, Luke Holland with Falling in Reverse, even me with I Prevail? The list goes on and on. But Eloy is smart and knows that this is no accident. In fact, it's intentional and he used it to his advantage. Eloy utilized the secret audition technique. This is where Eloy already proved that he's the perfect drummer for the gig before even meeting any of the guys from the band. Because by posting perfect covers of Slipknot songs, he's not only shown that he can play the songs perfectly, but that he can add his own energy and flair to the drum parts. If you wanted to try this for yourself, I'd follow this framework. Pick a song from a band that you'd like to play for. Learn that song to 100% accuracy. I'm talking about note for note here. Once you have, replace 5% of the song with your own flair. Little parts that you think would elevate the music overall, but that wouldn't be distracting. And this is the most important part. Practice the song 50 times. As drummers, we underestimate repetition, and this is the biggest secret to getting better at anything on the kit. Film yourself playing the song and then review your own game tape and see what improvements you can make. And step number 4 is find the best possible way that you think you could film this and present it in the most professional way. Then you simply post it. Now, I'm not saying this means that the band you want to play for is going to find it, but this whole process is going to make you a much better drummer. And plus, now you've got an amazing video that you can share with other musicians that will hopefully land you more gigs in that genre that you're looking to play. I would rank the secret audition as kind of hard, but not because learning the song is the hardest part, but having the patience to repeat this song and make improvements time after time is a big test in patience. But the more patience you have, the better drummer you will be. One of the biggest reasons that Eloy became one of the best metal drummers in the world is something that I like to call the cruise effect. And listen closely, because this is the difference between becoming a pro-level drummer and someone who peaked in middle school.
O'Doyle rules.
Now, something you might not know is that Eloy was an enormous drumming prodigy in Brazil. At a very young age, he was playing in front of big audiences, winning huge drumming competitions, and getting noticed by famous drummers at a very young age. What happens to a lot of child prodigies is they rely on their natural abilities to get them through. But as they get older, everyone else starts to catch up to them because they've been working harder and more diligently. That's why it's called the cruise effect, because they just cruise by on their natural abilities alone. But Eloy avoided this by diligently working on his skills and ability day after day.
It doesn't matter that you are 12-year-old. You know, you have to expect to people come to you and say, oh, you're really playing the drums. And I go, oh, in 5 years you're gonna be really good. No, that's not. You have to think about today, not tomorrow.
And this is why it's an actual gift to suck in the early stages of drumming, because what it teaches you is how to break past the barriers in your way. And this is still relevant to Eloy today, especially when you see how he continued to push forward after breaking his leg, getting a metal plate in there, 400 screws, and then played an entire tour with just his left leg. And even despite those barriers, he still maintains to be one of the best double kick players in the world, because a lot of drummers fight to practice less, and he's actually fighting to practice more.
Não posso tocar mais do que 5 músicas por dia. Eu vou dar até uma choradinha nos próximos dias pro meu médico para ver se ele libera.
Now, I would rank the cruise effect as hard because it's very difficult to have the mentality to push past barriers when they are presented to you. But the best drummers know that every barrier in their way is a new opportunity for growth. Let's talk about this secret that most likely trashes most of Eloy's gear. This is a weird exercise, but if I were to compare Eloy to one Avenger, there would be a clear answer for me. Watch this clip and see who you think of. If you guessed the Hulk, you are right. Kind of. One of the biggest aspects of Eloy's playing is that he hits so freaking hard. We call this going Hulk mode, but what makes this so impossible is that Eloy can maintain this intensity longer than 99% of other drummers. He probably goes through so many sticks, heads, cymbals, and overall gear, which is why I'm teaming up with Sweetwater to give you a free drum set. Stay tuned to find out how to enter. But Eloy takes his power even further, and it's what pushes him so far beyond so many other drummers. When we're talking about Hulk mode for Eloy, we're not talking about this Hulk or this Hulk. We're talking about this Hulk.
I see this as an absolute win.
Professor Hulk has both brains and power, and that is exactly what we see in Eloy's playing. Even though Eloy hits harder than most drummers, he does something different. He's still able to maintain an insane amount of dynamic control and still play highly technical parts at full volume. And you can see it in full effect right here. Now, I can't say that I hit quite as hard as Eloy, but I still hit pretty freaking hard. And so that's why when I need new gear, I go to Sweetwater. And if you want to win a free drum set, keep listening. In the description, I posted a Sweetwater link that has all of my top gear picks, not only for the studio, but for live. And to enter to win the free drum set, all you have to do is order any piece of gear using the link in the description, and then comment, "I like drums" on this video. We'll reply to the winner 2 weeks from the upload date of this video, so go ahead, click the link in the description, order your piece of gear, and meet me right back here to see if you want a free drum set. Thank you so much to Sweetwater for sponsoring this video. What makes Eloy so awesome is that he's able to play insane beats at a multitude of different volumes. But the problem is too many drummers are either stuck playing things way too quiet or way too loud all the time. So all you have to do to fix this is take a beat or a fill that you're working on and work on playing it at 3 different dynamic levels. See if you can play the beat at a very quiet volume, a medium volume, and a loud volume. And if you can, then see if you can play them in succession by going back and forth between them. And this will really start to perfect your dynamic range and control as a drummer. But playing at full Professor Hulk volume, I would rank as impossible, because to me, it's one of the biggest things that makes Eloy Casagrande stand out from everyone else. All right, before we run out of time, it's time to talk about Slipknot, because everyone's having the time of their lives talking about how awesome Eloy is. So it's time. No, literally. Let's talk about Eloy's timing. You might not know this, but Slipknot does not play to a metronome, which means that any drummer that's played for Slipknot has to essentially memorize the tempo of every single song. And to give you a little bit of context, most modern bands play with a metronome, so this is pretty freaking rare nowadays. Now, can you imagine having to learn over 30 songs in a rush and then immediately having to play them for tens of thousands of people without a metronome? To be honest, that's one of the most intense situations that I could think of as a drummer. And to be able to do that, you have to have pretty perfect timing. Now, even though Eloy's preparation and skill have taken him so far, that doesn't mean that he doesn't have a couple tricks up his sleeve as well. In these videos of him performing with Slipknot, you can see that he's using a visual metronome to help him get the starting tempo to start the song. So he's just watching the metronome so he can count things off, and then they're off to the races with no click. As drummers, we should be prepared enough to adapt to any live situation, but also take your preparation a step deeper so that there's almost no way you can fail. Having perfect timing is definitely hard, but if you commit to the process of improving it and putting in certain fail safes so that you know you can do it in any situation, I think you'll be in good shape. Have you ever heard of the ABC rule? Well, it's a strategy that Eloy uses, and it's what allowed him to seamlessly transition into Slipknot. But if you don't follow this rule, when your big opportunity as a drummer comes, you won't be ready for it. It'll pass you by like a beach ball at a Nickelback concert. So what is Eloy's ABC rule?
At the beginning is when I start something new, when I need to improve in some aspect. So that's the time that I do it, you know. And sometimes depends on the day, but I take like 1 hour, 1 hour and a half just to to stud a new subject.
The ABC rule means always be cooking. Now, if you aren't constantly cooking on your craft, well, then don't expect any big bands to come knocking on your door. A lot of drummers want a pro gig, but most aren't ready for it. Think of your dream band that you'd like to play for right now. If they approached you today for an audition in 1 week, would you be ready for it? If not, then you should start working on honing in your skills right now. As musicians, we've been taught to believe this very odd, disconnected thinking of someday some crazy opportunity will fall on my lap. But the problem is most musicians aren't actually ready for those opportunities. And what they don't realize is that developing those skills is what actually gets you those opportunities in the long run. This is what allowed Eloy to pass the rigorous audition process of having to learn over 32 songs and just doing 5 rehearsals for the band before immediately moving into writing sessions and performances with them. And he could only do this because he's been cooking, he's been ready. But for most people, if Slipknot called them right now to go through that same process, there's no way they would be ready for it. To always be cooking on your craft is frustratingly difficult because there are gonna be so many times that you just don't want to, or so many practice sessions where you feel like you suck and you walk away feeling bad about yourself. But to show up the next day and continue to push forward, that's not easy, but it's worth it every time and the rewards are amazing. Now, to get a full understanding of what Eloy is truly going to bring to Slipknot, I think we have to take a couple steps back, or a couple drummers back, to see the drumming foundations that were made for Slipknot in the first place. Click right here to see the incredible things we can learn from Joe.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys stuck around and watched that entire video and kind of got a glimpse into why Eloy Casagrande is the perfect drummer for Slipknot. So all the people that are hating and saying, why did you get rid of Jay? Why did you get rid of Jay? Jay Weinberg was half the age of everybody else in Slipknot. Eloy Casagrande is a better drummer, has played for Sepultura, which is a pretty damn heavy band, and has toured with Slipknot. So the guys in the band already knew Eloy. And when they were thinking of the next album, they wanted somebody in the team that was around their age, you know? When Slipknot started, they were all between like 19, 20, 21, 22 years old. And nowadays, I mean, the guys are in their late 40s or mid 50s. And then Jay Weinberg is like a 25, 26, maybe 30-year-old kid pretty much to them. So I think Eloy was just a way better fit with the other guys in the band. And just the way he plays and the stuff he adds in. And I can't wait to hear this 8th album that they are working on and coming out with. Because Eloy is an amazing drummer. He is amazing. If I had to say who was the best drummer in the world right now, I would probably go with Eloy Casagrande, just because Joey Jordison is not alive. But as you saw in the video, Eloy has his tricks where he can do things that other drummers cannot do. And he's just an amazing drummer. So I hope you guys really watched this and actually got to see what was so special about Eloy and why it was such a great idea for Slipknot to bring in Eloy as their drummer. So, anyways, we're going to finish this off because we're going almost on 20 minutes. Make sure you go to Slipknot's page, like, subscribe, leave a comment, share with your friends. I believe Eloy Casagrande does have his own YouTube page, his own YouTube channel. And if he does, please go there, like, subscribe, watch some of his videos over there. And please, please, for your boy, the Mass Music Reactor, just click the subscribe button. Everything is 100% free. And if you're not feeling my videos from like a month down the line, you could always unsubscribe. Like I said, everything is 100% free. There are no early watch clubs. I do not take donations for request reactions. If you have a request for my next reaction you'd like me to do or view or listen to, just put the name of the song and the band or singer or rapper or whatever it may be. Just put that in the comments and I will get that video done for you. And I absolutely must say, I appreciate my viewers so much. I appreciate each and every one of you, and everybody that takes the time, takes that extra second to click subscribe. I absolutely love you and appreciate you for everything you are doing. I am not making a penny off of any of this from YouTube or my subscribers or anybody. It's not about money for me. It's about just having something special for me to open up to speak more, to maybe make a couple of friends. And if anybody does know me, I do have extremely bad anxiety and I get panic attacks. So anybody else that are going through that same struggle, if you ever just need somebody just to talk to that will completely understand you, I'm always here. You can leave a comment. If it's something you don't want to talk about in the open, you can just let me know. I'll give you my email address and you can email me and we could chat from there. Because I find the only people that actually can understand you and talk to you without making things worse are people that go through the same thing themselves, and I deal with it every single day, trust me. But anyways, remember, Slipknot, Eloy Casagrande, like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, and for the Mass Music Reactor, please click that subscribe button. It's 100% free, and if you have a request, put it in the comments, and come see me in the next video, because I might just do your request. So make sure you come back and check me out. Thanks, guys.